Good evening. Welcome to post-game coverage of Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Championship Series. I'd like to welcome those tuning in tonight in Hamilton on Cable 14, those watching in North Bay on your TV, as well as those tuning in online on CHL TV. Joined tonight by North Bay Battalion head coach Ryan Oulahen, as well as veteran forward Mitchell Russell. Tonight's final 5-0 in favor of the Hamilton Bulldogs. And Coach, you've worn the Battalion logo on your chest. You've been in some tough playoff series throughout your pro career and whatnot. Through 120 minutes in this series, what's your read and thoughts so far?
Well, the score is what it is, but like you said, the experience factor right now, the one thing I know is no matter what the score is, it's just a loss, and that's how we got to look at it here. I'm a very optimistic, positive person, and I say we get back home, we get back to North Bay, where I know we'll have some fans behind us here, make it a hostile environment, and a place that we know we can have some success in. So we're going to hold our heads up high, regroup. It's nice to have 2 days in between, which is really good for our guys right now, a day to rest and recover, and then it allows us to actually have a good practice day before we play on Wednesday night.
Mitchell, coach said it, going back to the Gardens, playing in front of the seventh man. Does this team have another gear that they can reach back and find?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously playing at home, we have a lot of fun playing there, and we've been good there all year. So I think you're going to see a different energy from our group going back home.
We'll take questions now, guys.
Yeah, Ryan, with DiVincentis getting the start tonight, does that just showcase the confidence that you have in both guys?
For sure. We think that we have one of the strongest goaltending tandems in the league, and to have that, you might as well use that. And I thought he made some unbelievable saves here tonight and was real solid and kind of kept us in the fight as long as he could tonight.
In terms, you guys talk about how good you are at home. That second gear you can kind of get in front of your fans. 4-0-1 so far in the playoffs at home. You won 25 in your building. Just is that the message to keep the confidence up? Haven't played at home yet in this series, and you got to find that gear. And if it's not going to be in Game 3, then it might not be ever. Yeah,
coming in on the road here against Hamilton, it would have been bonus to steal one. It didn't happen. But now we just got to go back to our building. Like you said, we've been really, really good all year at home. We've been really good in the playoffs. We know our fans are pretty special, and I know that they're looking forward to supporting us, and maybe put them in a vulnerable position in a building that I also have experience as being a visitor, and it's no fun. So we want to make sure that we're ready and prepared for Wednesday.
In terms of scoring, trying to create more offense, only 5 power play chances so far through the first 2. Is that the biggest area you're looking for to try to get that scoring with only 2 goals here in Hamilton?
Well, yeah, that's an easy one to look at there. We got to find a way to make things harder on their goaltender, and the cliche of if you can't see it, you can't stop it. All those types of things we can do. I think we can be a little bit more intense in the offensive zone and in and around their goaltender, and maybe draw a penalty or 2 as well along the way. So those are all things. Like I said, we get a couple days to regroup, a practice day, which I think is needed, and be ready for Wednesday.
Mitchell, I know it's hard to talk about after a loss, but can you just quickly discuss, you recently signed a contract with the NHL San Jose Sharks. Obviously, your teammate Brandon Coe is also a San Jose Sharks prospect. So can you just talk about kind of the way that you've played this year, earning that pro contract, and how excited you are moving forward to join that organization as early as next year?
Yeah, I think every game I go out there and I give it my all. If I'm not scoring, I'm trying to finish checks or get the boys going. So I think for me, every game I go into the game thinking that I can be a positive impact with our guys.
Coach, you guys have played Hamilton now 4 times in 2022, 0-4, haven't been within 3 goals. What's the reason for the belief that you can finally win against these guys?
Well, I think, at certain points during the hockey game here today, there was times where we were doing some good things. We're going to draw a lot of positives from that. I think we can even elevate and get to a new gear here. But I did like some emotion. I liked a little pushback here from our guys. I thought we, controlled the physicality and were making things hard, especially on their defense, especially in the second period. So we'll draw some stuff from that. And I know some of those games, we didn't have our full lineup, neither did them. I mean, we're not too worried about that. We're really, I think, just really looking forward to a home game in this series.
Sitting at the podium after the last game, Brandon talked about Hamilton's defense and called them big and slow. If that's the case, why are you guys having so much trouble getting to the front of the net and getting around them?
Well, they're big and strong, and they do a really good job. I wouldn't just say their defense, but as a five-man unit, including their goaltender, they do a good job defending their zone. Again, we're going to have to find ways to get through that and muck around it a little bit. But we know we have some dangerous players on our roster. 5 guys that had 30 goals and more. So I don't think you can keep guys like that off the board very long.
Joined by Hamilton Bulldogs head coach Jay McKee and forward Logan Morrison. A 5-0 final tonight, Coach. A second straight 5-goal effort for your group, over 40 shots on goal and 3 power play goals. Really excelling kind of across the board. Maybe just provide your thoughts on the win.
Well, I think, like I said the other night, we're up against a very good hockey club. We have to be at our best, and I think our players showed the respect that we have for that team and the way that they played, and obviously the power play was clicking. I like that we were able to match their physicality in the second period. And overall, a pretty solid game. Our goaltending was good again. So again, we're fortunate to get a good win here at home.
Logan, a goal and 2 assists for you tonight, and the points keep coming, but I know you're the kind of guy who would want to give some love to your line mates. Of course, Avery with 2 more goals for himself. Maybe just evaluate your line's performance tonight.
Yeah, I thought we had a good game for sure. We've obviously been playing with each other for a while. There's some familiarity there. So, we expected of ourselves to come out every night and be effective. And obviously, Hazer had a great night tonight, and I thought Humphrey was really good too.
We'll take questions now.
Coach, you touched on it on the power play. I mean, at 3 for 6, I believe, in the series so far. Just what's going right and clicking out there for you guys? It's been lethal so far in the series.
Is there a way I can settle that down? That would be good. Andreas Carlson. No, he's been fantastic at working with these guys and putting the time in. And, obviously we have guys with a lot of skill out there and IQ and vision, but I think a lot of credit goes to Andreas and the players that are involved. They've really worked hard and tried different things in practice against even our killers and breaking down the footage and all that stuff. So and it comes down to execution. They've got a good penalty kill over there, especially coming into this series throughout the playoffs, and our guys have stepped up and really executed out there.
One last question for me, just moving up the series now up to North Bay, for both of you. You're going into, hostile environment. What's the mindset going into that with games 3 and 4 coming up?
Well, every team plays better at home. We know that. Obviously, they have last line change. They've got their home crowd. So we know that it's going to be hard fought again. Every game that we've had up there has been very difficult, and we're going to expect more of the same. I said the other day, if we're going to have success against this team, we can't take a shift off, and I think our players have shown the respect to that team by playing that way. We understand how good they are, how good a season that they've had, and how dangerous they can be. So we have to play really good hockey up in North Bay.
Coach, after the last game, when North Bay was up at the table, Brandon Coe described your defense as big and slow. Had you guys heard that comment? Did you hear that afterwards?
That's fine. I don't really have a comment on that. I think we're proud of the players that we have here, and I don't think they look big and slow tonight. So that's fine. We're not going to get involved with that.
And Logan, when early in the game they were working over Mason a bit, it looked like they were really keying on him. When he gets cross-checked from behind, when he gets roughed up a bit, you guys want to score on the power play anyway. Is there extra to sort of, when that opportunity comes to show you want to do that to our guy, here's what we'll do? Is there a bit of that?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, when they're kind of keen in on him, obviously he's a great player. So I think it's just every power play, every opportunity we get, we're trying to score, because we know that power plays don't come very often in playoffs, and we have to take advantage of everyone we get.
Yeah, Jay, the depth of this hockey club now that the series switches to North Bay. How confident are you in the matchup now as it switches to North Bay in the Garden?
Well, I think Steve Stayhouse has done a masterful job at building this team, through culture and after this team won just a few years back to be, at this point in the season this year, a ton of credit goes to Steve. Just great kids, great depth on the team, brought in some older players at the trade deadline and to fill out the depth so we've been a confident team. I don't think we've ever been, the way our guys have played, they've never played overconfident. They've always respected their opponents and left it out there every shift. And in order to have success, as much as these players have had over the past couple months, you have to play that way. So really proud, our staff's really proud of our players, and obviously grateful for the players that Steve brought in.
Logan, your coach mentioned this off the top, met their physicality all night, and there was a point in that second period where you had the fourth line out, you had Sims and Biondi out there, there was a bit of a scrum, and this building got loud. So what does that do for you? What does that do for the rest of your team? Your fourth line put in a great shift, and the only impact on the score sheet that it'll have was really the penalty minutes out of that. But how much does that get you guys fired up? Like, the crowd's up, they're hyped from a great shift by your fourth line.
Yeah, that was huge for our team. That was kind of a turning point in the game, I thought, when our fourth line had that shift and Dewey was buzzing and Gio got in there too. So I think they got a penalty out of that scrum too, and I think we scored on it. So I was telling Dewey that's playoff hockey right there, the shift he had, and that was huge for us.
And Jay, just want to talk about Marco Costantini. I mean, he's a guy that really doesn't, he looks calm in the net. His movements are very calm, and just whether that's his style or just what keeps him in the game the longest, just talk about what he adds to the team and why he's been so great.
He's been exceptional. He makes the token saves and comes up with big ones when we need them. Looks very calm in there. He sees the puck very well through traffic. And he's really a goalie that makes hard saves look easy. He's in the right spot. He anticipates well. So he's another huge piece of solid team here.
First for Logan, you score your 11th of the playoffs so far, and Avery Hayes, your line mate, has kind of really taken his game to the next level. 4 points last game and another 2 goals tonight. Can you guys just talk about your line and the progression that you guys have had and elevating to another level here in the playoffs as a key contributor to why your team is still undefeated in the playoffs?
Yeah, like I said before, I think it's just a familiarity thing. We've been playing together all year, so we're always talking on the bench and seeing what we have out there. And obviously Hazer's had a great playoff and a really outstanding start to the series. And I thought Humphrey's been great too. He's a horse out there too in the corners and everything. So I think it's just the chemistry's going right now, and we're liking how we're going.
And for Jay, obviously in your playing days, you had some very deep playoff runs with the Buffalo Sabres in the late 90s, early 2000s, some really good teams in that regard. Just what are you kind of trying to teach these guys now from your experience of playing in those tough playoff matchups against really tough teams in some really hostile environments that hopefully you can take and give to them as they look to make a really deep run here, hopefully with the finishing out this series, and just your thoughts on just kind of giving your experience to those guys?
Well, we just talked about it in the dressing room that in hockey you have to enjoy the moment after a win and then really reset. I've mentioned a number of times how much we respect that hockey club over there, their coaching staff, the players they have, and we have to go up in North Bay and understand we started 0-0, and what's happened these games in the past have given us a little advantage in the series, but it'll be in the past, and we have to go earn everything that we get again up there, and obviously a more hostile environment in their building with them having last line change and getting the matchups that they want, and the fan support, great fan support up there. So really having to reset, enjoy the moment. We'll go over footage and again look to see where we can be better and things we did well, and then just reset everything for game 3.